Welcome to week 9 of On Top the Cage. As always, my steady co-host Dan. I am Ken. It's dark and festive on our set. Daylight savings time happened.
Stupidest thing here.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I'm a big early up, early down Christmas person. As you can see the set, there's a Christmas tree behind me. Got a couple of trinkets on the table.
Best trinket is this.
Yeah, we'll get to the beer review. Waiting on the election results, right?
Yeah. I'm waiting.
We'll see what happens. I don't think we're going to have a declaration on a president for a while. I think there's probably going to be some litigation and maybe other things that go on before we have someone declared in the White House for the next 4 years. Beer review. Dan's ready for the beer review. As I told you last week, we're probably for the next 8 weeks or so through the holiday season, we're going to be doing various Christmas beer reviews. This week it comes from the Masthead Brewery Company in Cleveland, Ohio. Very fun name for their beer called Sleigh All Day. I like the can presentation, a string of lights over the top. It says it's an IPA with spruce tips. You know what that means?
No.
Me neither. Hope it's not crunchy.
But I don't know if you can slay this all day because the alcohol is 7.5%.
7.5%. Well, let's give it a whirl.
Oh yeah, I like that.
It's good. There's a lot.
Good.
There's a lot. There's citrus.
Yeah.
I think it tastes the pine. I don't know. It's good. Maybe we
That's a good one. I do like that.
maybe we'll just rank these because I think we're probably going to do 8 different holiday Christmas beers and see where they all
This
fall.
one's number one so far.
Yeah, of course it is. All right, on to the football season. The NFL trade deadline passed, came and went very quietly. I was surprised about that. Probably has a lot to do with the uncertainty and the owners losing a ton of money with no fans in the stands and taking on contracts and things of that nature. But there wasn't there wasn't any key player movement at least. So
I was more surprised that the Bucks signed Antonio Brown.
yeah, well, I mean, obviously he's had a history of problems, but he can play.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you can be suspended for 8 games and not be employed in the place or the business. I just don't understand that. To me, you have to be employed to be suspended. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of his.
You are not, certainly. I'm not really a fan of the person or the selfishness of it, but once again, reiterating, he can play, and he's up this week, so we will certainly talk about that. All right, last week I ended up pushing, whatever you want to say. I went 7-7.
I got destroyed.
Yeah, you went Grinch on our fans. Dan went 4-10. We are at the halfway pole of the National Football League season through 8 games. Currently, cumulative records, I am 64, 52-3. That's plus 12 on the year. Dan is 61, 55-3, plus 6. I have a goal for the last 8 weeks of ending up plus 30. So I need to go plus 18. Hopefully we can do it for you guys. You got a goal, Dan? Goals are good.
To drink 2 of these beers.
We'll be doing well with 2 of these beers at 7.5%. All right, Thursday night football game. We're ready to pick the slate. A much better game than we've had in the previous weeks.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I had to work today, so I wasn't able to see the news. Are we actually playing this game? I know the 49ers were shut down. Was it yesterday?
The NFL says it's a go. I know the Packers traveled today, so it's certainly going. And you mentioned something right now. I want to talk about something else that happened in the National Football League this week. They talked about a contingency plan if we don't get all these games in, and even adding another wild card. This year they added one. They're talking about adding 2 where 8 teams from each conference would go in. There would be no buys. 1 through 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5.
Hey,
more the merrier.
More football.
More the merrier. 'Tis the season. All right, on to the Thursday night football game. It is the 5-2 Green Bay Packers traveling out west to play the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are a 4-4 football club. The Packers are -6. The over/under on this game is 50.5. The Packers, they're coming off being run over by the Minnesota Vikings last week. I mean, Dalvin Cook.
Shocking.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pardon. There's a Halloween decoration that was floating in my face still. I had to get rid of it. It's driving me nuts.
8-legged?
Excuse me. Yeah.
All right, they go play the 49ers. The 49ers continue to be just bitten by the injury bug. Garoppolo down, Kittle gone. They say Kittle's injury is 8 weeks. He says it's 2 because he's a tough guy. The Packers, the Packers have an issue with their stable of running backs, and they're off their top 3 running backs. I think our Notre Dame guy, Dexter Williams, remember him from a few years ago? I think he may be the lead back for them going into this game.
Hey, they've done it before with a running back, a receiver playing running back. So they'll be all right.
This is a
Niners are a mess, though. I mean, that team, holy smokes.
This is a repeat of the NFC Championship game last year. Once again, the line is Packers -6. Who do you like, Dan?
Packers.
I don't. I'm going to go the other way. I like the points. I know Garoppolo's not playing. Last week, the 49ers got beat soundly by the Seattle Seahawks. With that being said, Garoppolo goes down. The Mullins kid played a lot better than Garoppolo did. So I don't know how much they're missing with Garoppolo actually going out. I don't know if they're going to win the game. I like it to be a close game. I'm going to take the points with 6. All right, on to the 1 o'clock slate. For Sunday, the Denver Broncos travel to play the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are -4. The over-under on this game is 50. 2 teams, I guess, going in the right direction.
I'm still shocked that the Broncos won that game
Last
on
play.
Sunday. I'm shocked by that.
They were down 21 points in the third quarter. Almost insurmountable.
It's shocking. I'm still not sold on Locke as the quarterback there, but man, the kid, he performed in the second half.
Yeah, can he string it together, I guess, is the question. And these teams are both kind of going in the right direction, I guess. 3 weeks ago, Raheem Morris took over the reins for the Atlanta Falcons. They really should be 3-0 under Raheem Morris, barring the brain cramp by Todd Gurley. They would have won that game against Detroit. They played Thursday night. They beat Carolina. They had control of the game throughout. The line's Atlanta once again -4. I'm going to once again take the points because I'm unsure about this. I think it's a field goal game. I hope it's a field goal game. I'm taking the points again with the Denver Broncos.
I'm going with the Falcons at home. The Broncos, I'm not sold on their defense. Matt Ryan, I think he has a good game here on Sunday. To me, he's a great fantasy quarterback, and I think they string it together here and come away and they win by more than 4 here.
I'm a little nervous now. Dan and I are disagreeing on the first 2 picks. The last time that happened was 2 weeks ago, and I delivered the proverbial homemade popcorn ball in the trick-or-treat bucket. So a little nervous that we haven't picked a similar team so far. Moving on, though, the Seattle Seahawks, they go play the Buffalo Bills. This is a good game. The Seahawks are 6-1. The Bills are 6-2. The line currently is the Seattle Seahawks -2.5. The over/under being 54. The Seahawks, they just keep rolling on offense. Obviously, they rolled the 49ers last week. The game was out of control fairly early. The Seahawks, really porous defense, and we know that. Great offense, porous defense. They get Jamal Adams back, which is going to help them on the back end of that defense this week. The Buffalo Bills, they're
struggling.
Yeah, they are. They are
struggling big time.
I tell you what, they won last week, and they're very lucky to win last week against the Patriots, who are struggling in their own right. But Cam fumbled, I think, inside the 10-yard line. Yep. They certainly were in field goal position to tie the game and shove it into overtime, looking to win the game. So you're right. Buffalo's not, clicking on all cylinders. I like this line a lot. The Seahawks at -2.5. I'm buying that all day. I'm on Seattle -2.5.
I'm taking Seattle as well. The defense is not the pass rush is non-existent. But the way the Bills are playing right now, I don't think they figure it out. And Russell Wilson, he wills that team to victory. DK Metcalf, phenomenal guy. I mean, he's a stud.
I think he's going to morph into the best receiver in the National Football League here in the next year or two. I really do. I think a lot of him. I'm not sure how people missed on him. I think he was a second-round pick, and I mean, he's just enormous and runs like the wind. Obviously, you saw him run down Buda Baker the other week.
That was awesome. He's
just a specimen. We both like the Seahawks -2.5, right?
Yep.
All right. On to the Chicago Bears. They travel to Nashville, Music City, to play the Tennessee Titans. The Chicago Bears bring their 5-3 record into town. The Tennessee Titans are 5-2. These are two teams coming off back-to-back losses and trending the wrong way, certainly.
Yeah.
I'll talk about my Bears. There's a lot to talk about. The defense is good. It is. They're kind of a bend, don't break defense, but they're a top 5 defense in the league. They have lots of problems on offense. There was calls for Trubisky to play, although Trubisky went in for one play last week, injured his shoulder. He's out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. So it certainly is Nick Foles' team.
What the hell was with the idiot throwing the punches because the guy poked him in the face?
Right.
Come on.
Javon Wims made his amateur boxing debut last week. Yeah, there was a lot leading up to that. It's unacceptable. I was embarrassed for my football team that it happened. That kid is somewhat of a troublemaker from the Saints. A series before, they kind of got into it, and he ripped his mouth guard off of his helmet. He poked Anthony Miller, another Bears receiver, through the helmet and things like that. This is
I agree, but who punches another guy wearing a helmet with the face mask on? I mean, come on.
Yeah, the only thing you can really do is break your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the same kid that got in a fight with his teammate Michael Thomas as well. But anyway, so he's got a little bit of history. Inexcusable action by Juice Wims from the Bears.
If the NFL had any cojones, they'd at least find that dude from New Orleans. I mean, there was some provocation there, and there was video evidence to show that. I mean, but that's Goodell being Goodell.
We're talking about this for a long time. There's some history with that kid as well, with the Chicago Bears. They played him last year as well in Soldier Field, back-to-back years, and he was making fun of Tariq Cohen's height, and he's like looking at him going like this and things. So there's some animosity between the Chicago football team and I forget what his name is, Gardner Jones or something. He's got a hyphenated name. In any event, enough talking about
kick him in the nuts instead of punching his face mask.
Let's talk about Tennessee, though. Tennessee went into Cincinnati last week.
Yeah.
What happened?
Shocker there. I don't know where the Tennessee Titans defense was, but Joe Burrow came out on top, and I'm happy for that kid. I mean, that's a quality team that the Bengals beat there.
Yeah. It's funny. We've talked multiple times about Joe Burrow just getting battered behind his poor offensive line. Tennessee didn't register one sack against Joe Burrow, which is shocking. The Bears, I don't know if I mentioned this yet. We've been talking a lot about this. They have crazy offensive line problems. They have injuries. Their backup, they lost their right tackle, Bobby Massey, and the backup, Jason Spriggs, comes in, was serviceable, but he got COVID this week. And then the right guard, Afedi, for the Bears, is in the contact tracing protocol situation. We don't know if he can play. The Bears might be down 4 offensive linemen in this game, which is a train wreck. This line is Tennessee -6. The over-under on this game is 46.5. Who do you like, Dan?
I'm going to go with Tennessee here. That 6 is a big number against that defense, but I'm going to go with Tennessee. I just don't. The offense is awful for your Bears. I'm sorry.
It is bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. It's a mess. We'll see about that. They do bring their defense. I think that with that showing in Cincinnati with Tennessee, I just don't have the confidence. I have confidence in Mike Vrabel to try to right the ship, certainly. But I like the Bear defense, and defenses travel. I like them to keep this game under the 6 number. I think it's a big number. I'm going to take the Bears getting the points. I'm not sure they come out of Music City with a win, but I like them under that number. Next game up on the slate is a very good game. Teams with identical records. The Baltimore Ravens travel to play the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams are 5-2. The line is the Ravens -2.5. The over is 46. The Ravens coming off a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A very good game. I know you probably didn't see a lot of it because I know the Browns played at the same time.
Didn't watch a lick because I don't like either one of those teams.
Understandable.
I was waiting for the tsunami to come.
Understandable. The Ravens outgained the Steelers by quite a bit. They lost the turnover battle handily. Lamar Jackson turned the ball over twice inside the 10-yard line. They did have a chance to win the game. It came down the last play of the game. The Steelers defended the goal line. They won. They have control of the AFC North. The Indianapolis Colts, they played Detroit last week. They played pretty well. I mean, they had control of the game for the most part. They went one going away. What do you think about this game?
Hey, the Ravens, they lost their left tackle after the big contract he just signed, Notre Dame kid, Ronnie Stanley. Lamar does not look like Lamar that started week 1 or played last year. I don't know.
He does not look like MVP Lamar at all right now.
As the season's gone on, I don't know if he's injured and they're just keeping a big secret. Something to me seems like it's bugging him. But this game, man, I want to go with the Colts just because I can't stand the Ravens. And it would help my Browns out. And I want to see the Colts win, so I'm picking them. I'm taking the Colts.
Fair enough. I'm not sure about the reasoning, but
I can't stand the Ratbirds. Screw them.
Fair enough. You mentioned Ronnie Stanley. He just got his contract and he's out for the season. Dan and I watched him a lot. We're both Notre Dame fans. He came out of Notre Dame. Great story. I want to tell it. He got his contract when he was the first-round pick for the Ravens, and him and his fiance, the first thing that they bought, a dog. Well, they didn't really buy it. They went to a shelter. And they went in there and they asked, "What are you looking for?" And he said, "I'm looking for the dog that's been here the longest." And that's what they did. The dog had been there for I don't know how many months and things like that. So that's the dog they went home with. So which is a great story. It's an awesome story. I struggle with this game as well. The Colts are playing well, and they play Tennessee 2 out of the next 4 games. So that division is probably going to come down to those head-to-head battles with Tennessee. Houston's out of that, I think. They're 1-6, and certainly Jacksonville is. I like the Ravens to bounce back. It's the fact that the line's under 3 is 2.5. I'm going to go with the Ravens minus 2.5. All right, the Carolina Panthers, they go play the juggernaut that is the Kansas City Chiefs on offense. The Carolina Panthers are 3-5. The Kansas City Chiefs are 7-1. The over-under. The line on this game is minus 10.5. The over-under is 52.5. Carolina, they have 3 losses in a row. They lost Thursday night against Atlanta. They do get Christian McCaffrey back this week.
They get him back, but their offense looked atrocious last week. It was bad. Even with him, does it help, do you think?
Well, we saw Mike Davis, and you texted me during the game like, why did the Bears give up on Mike Davis? I mean, he runs with attitude.
Yeah, he does.
They got to find a way to use both those players. I mean, there's no way that Mike Davis can be on the sideline.
Well, you have Samuel, too.
Yeah,
that's another. I don't know. That was a weird game last week.
It was. We both like Matt Rule and his ingenuity and things like that. Like I said, I mentioned the Chiefs earlier. They're juggernaut. I mean, they beat the Jets like 25, 27 points. It's like kind of pick your poison with that team. Either they're going to run you to death or they're going to pass you to death. It was Mahomes last week. He threw 5 touchdown passes. This line is big. It's huge. It's minus 10.5. I'm going to take the lead. I'm laying it. I have all the confidence in the world in the Kansas City offense. I don't care about Andy Reid running up scores. None of that. I mean, they're just too good. I mean, their punter has the best job in the NFL.
Exactly.
Who you on?
I'm on the Chiefs on this one. I just didn't see enough out of Carolina. I mean, I like them. I think they're improving. I like the coach, but the Chiefs are just
a juggernaut is the best way to put it.
They're amazing.
We're both on the Chiefs minus 10.5. I'm glad we're starting to agree on some games here. All right, NFC North battle. The Detroit Lions are 3-4. They go play the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 2-5. The Vikings are a minus 4 in this game. The over/under is 55. The Detroit Lions can't seem to get over 500. They get there, and then they can't, and then they go back. They lost Galladay as well. Vikings are coming off an impressive showing in Green Bay, where Dalvin Cook just ran over them.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings, they looked very one-dimensional. I mean, you take away Dalvin Cook, well, what happens? Are they the same old Vikings? Taking Dalvin Cook away, though, that's kind of hard because they threw it to him. He ran it. You know, he's all over the field. He's a complete player. I am not sold on the Lions at all, and I think Minnesota strings 2 in a row. I'm going with the Vikings here.
So am I, and there's some breaking news in regards to the Detroit Lions. I think that Matthew Stafford is going into the COVID protocol situation. So I don't know if he's even going to play. So this line might fluctuate in regards to, as you know, we shoot on Wednesdays, and sometimes things happen Thursday, Friday, Saturday that completely changes lines or takes them off the line in Vegas. But I mean, the Vikings off an impressive showing last week. I mean, they pushed the Green Bay Packers around like a grocery cart last week. Yeah. I mean, the offensive line just pushed them around.
Yeah.
I'm on the Vikings -4. All right, New York Giants. They go to play the Washington football team. The Washington football team is -3. The over/under on this game is low, considering the scoring that is going on this year at 42.5. The Giants are 1-7. Once again, Washington's 2-5. Giants played well on Monday night against Tampa.
They did. That kid's got to protect the football. Quit making those stupid mistakes. Like, hey, you're going to get sacked. Take the sack. I mean, protect the football. The punt is better than an interception.
He's right. Daniel Jones has a ton of turnovers this year and through his 2-year career. I don't know if he's the answer or not. He makes some great plays, and he makes some really boneheaded plays.
They could have won that game. Could have won it.
Washington's coming off bye. They can win this division. You know what I think? I think they may win this division because I'm not impressed by Philadelphia either, unless Carson Wentz gets this thing together.
Good grief, he's a train wreck too.
There's a chance. I mean, I like Rivera as the coach. There's a chance that the Washington football team ends up in the playoffs this year. This line's -3. I said, I think in previous cast that I don't like giving any points in this type of division with Dallas and Philadelphia and Washington and the Giants, but I'm going to give it because I have some confidence in the Washington football team. I'm going to lay the -3.
I almost want to pick the Giants in this one just because it's going to tighten that division up. If they get 2 wins, look out.
They're there. They're in the thick of it.
Yeah. Wow. They look good. It's a short week. They're probably disappointed that they didn't come out of there. The quarterback's probably triple thinking what he's done. I think I'm going to go with the Redskins or the Washington football team as well in this one.
All right, fair enough. We're both on the football team from Washington at -3. The Houston Texans coming off bye. They're 1-6. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have the equally poor record of 1-6.
I'm surprised this isn't a primetime game.
Yeah. Houston did not sell off their players. They kept Will Fuller. They kept the whole crew there together. I mean, they're going through transition. I mean, they have an interim coach and Romeo Crennel. The Jaguars, they were talking about pulling Minshew. With that being said, he got injured. They have a rookie, I think his last name is Luton, out of Oregon State playing. I mean, this is a mixed bag.
Jacksonville's a mess.
They are. The line is Houston -6.5. Deshaun Watson's a player. He doesn't have a lot around him. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to lay the 6.5 just because I have no idea what we're going to get out of Jacksonville. And the rookie quarterback, I once again believing his name is Jake Luton.
Yeah, I'm going with the Texans on this one as well.
All right. That is the end of the 1 o'clock slate for Sunday. The 4 p.m. games, we have 3 of them. The first one we're going to talk about is the Las Vegas Raiders. They go out to play the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are -1.5. The over/under on this game is 54. Dan, tell me about the Raiders and the Browns.
Hey, the Raiders came in here and just pounded it. They destroyed our defense running the football. I mean, we could not stop the run. They threw it when they needed to, but the big thing was couldn't stop the run. And the Raiders' offensive line is not very, it's pieced together.
They had that COVID situation with it.
They look good. Their defense played well. The Chargers, they look good to me. I actually watched that Chargers-Broncos game, and I'm still shocked that they lost it. They don't know how to finish a game. And to me, the Raiders are going back to Los Angeles where they just left. I'm going with the Raiders in this one. 1.5. I'm taking the Raiders.
Fair enough. I mean, this is a tricky game to pick, in my opinion. I was really surprised what happened in the Raiders-Browns game, especially when, we had atrocious weather in our area, Northeast Ohio, last Sunday. And that was Browns weather, if you ask me. I didn't see a lot of the game because the Bears were playing right up against it or at the same time slot. I did see a field goal that took a hard left.
Oh,
Holy
crazy.
cow.
Yeah, the wind. Yeah.
That was
It
unbelievable.
was nuts.
Raiders, I talked about them. I think I called them a Jekyll and Hyde team. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week with them. The Chargers have blown a 16-point lead in their last 4 games. They won one of them, but
They're
they
the new
blew
Falcons.
a 16-point, and they blew a 21-point
It's cool to be
lead.
the Falcons. It's the new Chargers.
All right, there's the pot shot that we all wanted for my brother-in-law Teddy. I'm kind of like talking about this game because I don't know who to pick, frankly.
Hey, you got Gruden going against a rookie quarterback.
You like the Raiders?
Yeah. I already said I'm going with the Raiders.
I'm going with you. We need some picks together. I'm going to go with the Raiders. We're going to take the 1.5. Obviously, there's not a whole lot there to get. We basically need the Raiders to win this game. Next game up on the board, the Pittsburgh Steelers with their the only undefeated National Football League team.
It's hard to be them.
They go into Big D, the train wreck that is Big D.
Oh.
The line is just short of 2 touchdowns. The Steelers are minus 13.5 in this game. Like we said, the Steelers are 7-0. The Cowboys are 2-6. The Cowboys do not have Dalton back. We're going to get either Garrett Gilbert, it was the name you were searching for.
Yeah, Garrett was on the Browns, played on our, practice squad, young kids, our JV team. He's from Texas. I mean, same high school as Baker. They're good buddies. But what happened to DiNucci? Because I don't.
He's terrible. That's what happened.
He's out because I saw.
No, he's not out. He's just terrible.
So I saw something today that it was either Garrett Gilbert or somebody else. His name.
I want the other guy. The other guy has a cool name. His name is Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
I'm going Cooper Rush for the start over Gilbert Grape or Garrett Gilbert, whatever his name is.
Well, hey, it doesn't matter.
Those
two guys are going against the Steelers defense, and they're probably pooping in their pants right now.
They probably are. I mean, the Steelers are I think, one of the 2 most complete teams, and they're probably the most complete team in the National League. And we're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in a second. I think they're the other complete team where they have a very good defense and a very good offense. The line is huge. It's minus 13.5. I'm laying it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers in this one. I mean, the Browns destroyed the Cowboys. The Steelers destroyed the Browns. I mean, come on.
The Steelers aren't losing this game. It's just a matter of how much. They took complete control of the AFC North last week.
Yeah.
So they're on a roll.
They took complete control of the AFC. They're the team to beat. They're undefeated.
What about the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't know.
The Steelers have a defense.
That would be a great AFC Championship game if it kind of morphs into that or happens that way.
I hate to say it, but I think the Steelers are the best team in the AFC.
They may
kills
be.
Me to say that.
They're the most complete team for sure in the AFC. I mean, obviously, Kansas City has a tremendous offense. The defense is okay. It's not the Steelers' defense.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still waiting for the tsunami from the Ohio River to take that place down.
Stop talking about tsunamis. All right. A game that I didn't think, when the schedule got released, we didn't think it was going to be that great of a game. It is. The Miami Dolphins. My in-laws team. Congratulations, Tom Daly, my father-in-law. He's probably the biggest fan of this podcast. It's probably his favorite show since Bonanza. I got a pot shot in on your age, Tom. I can't wait to see you over the holidays. The Miami Dolphins, they travel to play the Arizona Cardinals. The Lions, the Arizona Cardinals, minus 4.5. The over-under is 48. The Arizona Cardinals come off bye. We'll talk about them in a second. Let's talk about the Fins first. They played the Los Angeles Rams last week. Tua played, obviously started. Mixed results in my opinion. The defense continues to play really well.
Defense plays really well. They got help from the special teams. So that was an all-around team victory. I think the team was pumped because Tua was playing. I still think the jury's out if he's an NFL quarterback.
Tua?
Tua.
He's only played one game.
But I'm saying, that's one game. He had a lot of help. I mean, there was defense. The defense is playing good.
He did have to deal with Aaron Donald,
And Aaron Donald didn't come around him. I mean,
he got a strip sack on by the very beginning of the game. But anyway, no, you're right. I mean, there's certainly, and what Dan's saying is, it looked mixed results from Tua, but I mean, he's going to learn and things like that. The Dolphins, they have a great defense, and I like Flores, and we both like Flores. They got seriously outgained. They won the turnover battle, though.
Yes.
I mean, and they got a special teams touchdown, I think. I think they got like a 90-some yard return on a fumble.
Defensive touchdown.
Yeah, so they scored all kinds of different ways. They did get outgained. Playing Kyler Murray and Arizona Cardinals is a different story.
Yeah, they have a lot of weapons over there. It's going to be a test for this defense.
The line's Arizona Cardinals minus 4.5. The over's 48. I'm gonna have you take the lead.
Cardinals.
I originally was gonna go with the Dolphins. I'm not. I'm gonna lay the 4.5 with the Arizona Cardinals as well. It's the Kyler Murray effect to me. I mean, he gets out of the way or gets out of the pocket and he breaks a big play or something like this. I think it's very difficult to contain him. We'll see. That's a tremendous NFC West division with Arizona, with the Rams, Seattle, and the rest of that group. So, all right, we are on to Sunday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints, they go to Tampa Bay. The Saints are 5-2. The Tampa Bay Bucks are 6-2 now. The line is Tampa Bay minus 5.5. The Saints, they beat my Chicago Bears last week. I'm not terribly impressed by the Saints, really.
No.
The Bears got that game into overtime. I'd mentioned the Bears being closers multiple times. They could not close it in overtime. And then the Bucks, they're not coming off the greatest showing in the world either on Monday night against the Giants. But I mentioned complete teams. I think the Buccaneers are a complete team. They have a really good defense. The offense coming on, they add Antonio Brown this week. What do you think about the addition of Antonio Brown?
Don't like it.
I know you don't.
Honestly, I said it at the beginning. I don't know how you cannot be on an NFL team but do your 8-game suspension when you're not on a team. To me, that's just being unemployed. now that you have employment, now's when he should have his 8-game suspension. That's stupid to me. I don't agree with it. This week it's going to be fine because he's new to the team. Next week he'll be a D-bag like he is always.
Well, Arians will keep control of that team. I know we both like Bruce Arians. This is the second time these two teams played. They played opening week, and the Saints got the better of the Bucks, and I think the Bucks were trying to just kind of mesh all their parts, and they have a bunch of new parts this year, and they're coming together.
They are coming together. That linebacker, I can't think of his name, but man, is that
Derek
good.
White? Maybe.
Is it 45, I think?
Yes. Yeah, he's a good player.
That kid fly.
He's a good player.
He flies.
I'm going to take the lead on this game, and it's a pretty big number at 5.5. I like the Bucks in this game. I think, they certainly don't want to lose both their games to the Saints. It'll cause them problems down the road winning that division. I like the Bucks minus 5.5.
I'm going with the Bucks too, and the one thing that I would like to see. When they score a touchdown, they got that sweet-ass pirate ship in the end zone. But when they fire those cannons, it sounds like it's sissy fire. Seriously.
You
the
need better
Cleveland
cannons?
Indians, when they hit a home run, man, the fireworks they set off, it rocks downtown Cleveland. Those cannons that they use in Tampa Bay are the weakest freaking sound that I've ever heard. I mean, that should echo through the freaking TV. There's no fans in there, and you can't hardly hear that sissy cannon fire that they're shooting.
I don't know what's happening. Dan went on a rant against the guy who runs the game.
Yeah,
in
it's
Tampa
terrible.
Bay. But you're on the Bucks, right? You're on the Bucks?
I'm on the Bucks,
We're
and
both-
they need better cannon
We're
fire.
both on the Bucks. Dan wants to fire the cannon shooter or whatever
Yeah,
it is
good
in
grief.
Tampa Bay. All right.
You want to know your team is sinking. Not with that cannon fire.
We're done. We're done with the
My
cannon.
rubber boat can survive that.
Maybe Masthead's getting the best of my friend. I don't know.
I'm just fired up because the next game
All right, Monday Night Football. It's not the greatest game in the world. The New England Patriots are 2-5. They go play the New York Jets. I call them the paper airplanes. They're 0-8. The Jets are halfway home.
Patriots.
To the first
Do we
round.
need to talk
First
about this
pick.
anymore? We're going with the Patriots.
They're a full 7-point favorite, though, and the Patriots look awful.
So do the Jets.
I mean, the Jets are awful. We know that.
I can't believe this is a Monday night game.
Yeah, well, the Patriots always have been a big draw. Obviously, the Patriots have dropped off considerably this year. That reign with Bill Belichick and the Patriots running through the AFC is over. It's over.
Yeah,
There's no two ways about that.
In defense of the Patriots, though, what did they have? 8 guys that said they weren't playing because of COVID. They opted out for this year. I mean, come on.
They did.
What are you going to do when you have 8 guys on your team say, "Hey, I'm not playing because of COVID"? You can't go and replace those guys.
Yeah, you can't.
This game's awful.
I mentioned that the Jets are halfway home to the first pick in the draft, and I used to the initial weeks we were talking about, the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. I'm not so sure. I've seen Justin Fields play for Ohio State a few games. He's big. He's poised. He can run. He's accurate. I'm not so sure Trevor Lawrence is the consensus pick in the draft for the National Football League.
I don't know.
All right.
Either one of them, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those 2 kids. Honestly,
I would like
both quality.
I agree. I would like to pick the Jets at some point in time. It's once again not going to be this week. We're both on the Patriots -7. That is the entire slate of the National Football League. On bye this week, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the LA Rams, and the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, your bonus picks, and we haven't talked about a record. I'm 2-2. I made my way back to 500 after being 0-2.
You're college picks?
Yeah, you're 1-3. You're under 500. We have a game here. The Clemson Tigers, the number 1 ranked Clemson Tigers without Trevor Lawrence, travel to South Bend, Indiana to play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Clemson Tigers are -6. The Irish are ranked 4 in the nation. No Trevor Lawrence. That DJ kid, unpronounceable last name. They had a tough game against BC last week. I mean, he looked great at times. He didn't look good at times. BC kind of thinks the ball bounced the right way for them. They were right in that game. They lost. Notre Dame. You watch. Dan and I are both Notre Dame fans. Are you going to be there for this? Be over here for this game?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you need to be here. This is a big game. In any event, I think Notre Dame's kind of a flawed team in the fact that they can flawed. They have a flaw.
Yeah, they're. Well,
the defense.
I think they're flawed too. We'll see if we have the same flaw.
The defense is okay, and it's pretty good. The offensive line is good. They can run the ball. Notre Dame has no playmakers on the outside with their receivers. They can run the ball. They have a stable of running backs. They usually use 3 or 4 running backs. But where's the big play over the top? They have great tight ends. This Mayer guy.
I mean, there's phenomenal tight
Where's
ends.
the speed guy on the outside? I think that's what's really hurting Notre Dame.
Is it the speed guy on the outside or the quarterback that's hurting him?
He is a
I know
he's a game manager.
He holds records at Notre Dame for what? The most touchdowns? Didn't he break that?
Usually you don't see a Notre Dame quarterback be there for 3 years.
Exactly.
But Book is pedestrian. I mean, he's a game manager.
He makes dumb mistakes.
I don't think he's draftable in the National Football League. I don't. The Tigers are -6, and I'll take the lead on this. And it's not really a homer pick. The only I'm going to take the points with Notre Dame. And the only reason is because this game's being played at night in South Bend. Notre Dame have a history of coming up very big against higher ranked opponents at night in South Bend in Notre Dame Stadium.
When there's a ton of fans.
I knew it was coming.
That's
it's a very good argument.
A totally different game, especially for a freshman quarterback, a true freshman. That kid from Clemson's, true freshman coming into Notre Dame and a night game.
Lights are on.
Yeah, man, if that place was packed, I'd be going with Notre Dame. But I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I'm still going with Notre Dame in this.
I don't do the fan thing, but I do. I like Notre Dame to find a way under the number. I don't know if they're going to win this game, but I think it's close. That's the full week of the National Football League. That's your bonus pick. Is there anything else that we need to talk about before we let it go?
No.
This has been week 9. Good beer, yeah. Ranked number 1 so far, just like the Clemson Tigers. That has been week 9 of On Top of the Cage. For Dan, I am Ken. Good luck.